Hello, friends. How is everyone? Welcome to our third installment in the, what are we calling this? Old Lady Craft Hour?
Old Lady Crafting Hour.
Yeah. Someday we will all know what it's called. Where we work on crafts and chat and then sprint, and you can do whatever your heart desires. If that's house cleaning, if it's reading, if it's just crafting, whatever you're feeling. So we have our two lovely co-hosts, Aoife and Margaret. Aoife's counting, so I'm going to ask Margaret what she's working on first.
We hit a little snag with the page count blanket because this yarn, the purple, does not. I now have to order it online because nowhere near me sells it on in stores because Joann is closing and so they don't have anymore. Right. And Michael's does not carry this one specific color. All of the other ones, yeah, we're fine, but this one.
But are you able to source it?
Yeah, I was able to find it online.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
So I could go and order it from. I can still order it from the Lion Brand website. So we're okay there.
It is available, just less convenient.
Yeah. I did panic slightly, but it was fine. Everything's fine. But I am working on getting caught up on my page count blanket because I fell really behind between traveling and not having the yarn and
that's fine. That happens.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna fall behind mine over Easter because I'm going away to my in-laws for Easter and I'm not bringing anything with me, so I'm pretty sure I'll bring books, but I won't be bringing my blanket, so I will probably be a couple of weeks behind.
Yeah. Some year I am going to try one of these blankets. I just know that if any of my year-long projects have taught me anything, I'll do it for the first 3 months and then I'll forget about it.
See, the thing is, I thought I would do January and then be like, yeah, I'm so bored. I'm midway through March. And I'm not super behind. I think I'm 5-6 books behind where I am right now, which is keep upable. My worry is Margaret, what happens if I run out of some of the colors because I haven't been able to source them as easily now, and I'm like, oh, baby girl should have taken in nuts for the winter.
Oh, I don't know. Is it the colors have been completely discontinued or just?
I don't think it's that they've been discontinued. It's from a shop over here called Zosta Grena, which is kind of like a dollar store, but a little bit higher up. So they have a bunch of different colors in this super wash wool that I've been using. So I've got another blanket that's a whole lot of colors from them. But the 6 colors that I am using for the ratings blanket, the gray will be easy to come by, which is good. The grays are 4 stars. The whites, I still have a lot, and white's nonfiction. I don't need a whole lot of the 1s. I probably don't need a whole lot of the 2s. The 3s are purple, and purple is starting to get a little bit, okay, so this one doesn't have it either. And the teal that I am using for 5 has somewhat vanished off the website. So unless somebody in Denmark really does me a favor and be like, yeah, our flagship store in Copenhagen has it, then I'm going to see what happens. I'm going back to Ireland at the end of May. So I could look at the shops that they have over there too, because I think it's in a lot of countries across Europe. So I'm going to have a look at the shop in the big city near where I live in Ireland and see if they have a bunch of it there and just stuff my suitcase as much as I need to.
Yeah.
So
by the way, about yarn is it takes up so much room initially.
It really does.
It really does.
So you don't
really does.
It'd be one thing if it was this big of a ball and you're getting 5 it's so different from embroidery floss, right?
Oh yeah.
Are you able to source through eBay, or have you tried searching shops like Depop or Macari for the?
Haven't tried any of those big 3, Depop, Vinted, or eBay. But that might actually be a good shout. That might be a good shout. I might run out of the purple sometime between now and June, July. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'll be okay up until then. It's the 5 stars that I'm surprisingly going through quite quickly because I wasn't expecting to have 7 5-stars by the time we hit the 7th of April or the 6th of April. But things are going very well.
Good news for your reading life, but bad news for your crafting
Bad
life.
news for the lanky. Great news for me.
Yeah. I am trying to teach myself a new granny square today because I did teach myself one probably 3 months ago, and then I forgot they existed. So now I'm trying to go back. So we'll see if I can make a daisy. We're gonna find out.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I finished counting, so now I can tell you what I'm doing. Gonna clean up a little bit. I'm making what is going to turn into this hat.
Ooh,
nice.
In this color. It's kind of like a greeny situation, like emerald green, but a little bit lighter than.
Yeah.
I have been using this pattern for a couple of months now. I used it to make a hat for me, a hat for my mom, and a baby's hat with baby wool for a friend of mine who is due for June. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to do like the same pattern but with a different wool. Like it's a 50 gram rather than 100 gram, which is making me slightly worried of what if I run out halfway through the hat. But we'll see if I can join it in and try and make it look a little bit seamless. We'll see.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, as for reading, don't know what I'm going to do because I'm in the middle of a project, which if you look on my Goodreads is not secret at all. You'll figure it out in seconds. And I can only find the audiobook for the other books coming after, but not this one. Libby has nothing available until 6 weeks from now, which is slightly too late for me. So I don't know if I'm going to start with something from my April TBR, which was Priest by Sierra Simone, the first Bridgerton book, The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, or Before We Forget Kindness by Toshikatsu Kawaguchi.
Gotcha. That is quite a range of emotions.
It's big time. You either want to be super happy or you want to be depressed and cry.
Yeah.
Or you want to be super horny. Those are the emotions we're feeling today.
I like your project. I have been following it on Goodreads as you go.
Thank you. It's very obvious what the project is, isn't it?
The first one wasn't, and then when I saw the second one pop up, I was like, aha.
I know what we're doing here, friend.
Yeah, but that's fun. Well, do you want suggestions or do you just want us to decide?
I would love a suggestion. Like if you've read one of the 4 before, tell me which one to start with. I'll hold them up for you again just in case. I'd love you to make a decision for me because I'm not very good at doing that. But this is what we're working with. I cannot center for shit. This is what we're working with here.
Well, Brianna would vote for Priest.
I know that she would, but she's not here. So if you want to win, you got to be in, you know?
Yeah. I personally still am like interested to see your thoughts on the Duke and I think you're gonna have.
I know you are.
I
am also that one.
Yeah.
I know you are, Margaret, because you want somebody to talk about it with.
No, I want somebody to talk with me. Actually, the Duke and I was not my least favorite. So
see, I know the thing that happens about 70% or so of the way through the book.
Yeah. And it is not a good thing to have happen.
No,
like for a person to do, regardless of how you do it. People are like, oh, I think the show handles it better. I think the show makes it premeditated. Whereas in the book, it's in the book, it's a thing that like you'll see when you get to it. I'm like, if we'd had a better discussion about this afterwards and there'd been some remorse, I think no one would have a problem with this because it's a split-second decision.
Okay. Also, great news. My sports team is 3 minutes away from winning a national title. Yay, sports.
Yay, sports ball.
Yay, for balls.
Nice. What was this?
The sport?
Yes.
It's football.
It's not football. It's hurling. It's a cross between lacrosse, hockey, and death.
You said curling, right?
Hurling with a H.
Curling. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's a fun one though.
It is.
Was the last cross death?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
They're literally hurling like massive rocks.
Okay.
This
is the one where they hold the ball.
The ball is the size of a tennis ball and the color of a tennis ball, but it's much, much harder because it's full of cork.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
This will be a Google during our sprint.
Have fun.
I feel like, well, obviously I've seen it at the Olympics, and then we also have a really big Scottish population north of me, and so they will do all of the things because they have a festival every March, and so like we're doing like the thing where I don't know what it's called, but the tree where you're holding the tree and trying to like do that, and yeah, they'll do the whole thing.
You know what's fun? The Germans' summer party has been announced, like the date and the theme and everything. It's happening at the end of July, and the theme is the Highland Games. And I am so
That's the
sure
name of the festival.
I have told him already. I'm so sure. I'm like, everyone's going to ask me, did you play these growing up? Everybody's going to ask me, how are you so good at it? I didn't know. That's Scotland, bro. That's them. Try us.
There's some water between us.
Yes. We're cousins. Yeah, no, we're not siblings. We're cousins.
They call it the Highland Games. It's more. I feel like it's more of a like at least they cross over between like Irish and Scottish. A lot of the stuff that's sold there, because there's a lot of like symbology that I feel like is more associated with Ireland in my mind, like the claddagh and that kind of thing.
The claddagh is this thing.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah,
that guy right there. It's a little bit of a existential one, but I do have one. So,
okay.
And I bought it there.
An existential claddagh is still a claddagh.
Yeah,
it still counts.
It's like it's not. I'll send you a picture, but like if you look at, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that is because it's a heart. It's got something bracketing it, and it's got a little crown.
Yeah, it sounds like a claddagh to me.
Yeah. And I wore it heart out for years and years and years. And now I just don't pay attention to how I put it on.
Fair. Because if people are not familiar with the claddagh, there is a way to wear it to distinguish your romantic relationship.
Yep.
If you wear it on your right hand, facing the right way up, such as this way, you are in a relationship. If you wear it upside down, which is this way, you are single. And if you wear it on your left hand upside down, you are engaged. If you wear it on your left hand right way up, you're married.
Okay. I was never told the part because I'm left-handed, so I wear that ring on my left hand because the two that go on my right hand are. But yeah, I'm definitely not engaged or married.
Well, we're all learning things today.
Yeah.
Margaret has been keeping it secret for quite some time.
Margaret's been engaged apparently for the last.
Margaret's been engaged since she was 9.
Listen, I'm 90% sure that part of the reason that I'm single is there were not a lot of guys of interest in my church. Like we did not have a great pop in my age bracket, but also I wore a purity ring all through college, so I don't think that helped.
That's fair.
So, and it was one of the, because Margaret's thought was, well, you can read the words on it, so you can look and see that it's a fucking purity ring. So why would you I don't think those.
Look what it did for the Jonas Brothers, though.
Yeah, I mean, one of them is married to Priyanka Chopra. So
yeah,
not wrong. Yeah. The other one fumbled Sophie Turner, so I don't know how well that worked for him.
Not great. But that's not going well for Mr. Perfectly Fine right now.
It was real.
He fumbled a lot.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how I feel about that because on the one hand, like, I haven't been able to find it, but there was some stuff that like she said some stuff to Priyanka that was low key like white British girl.
Okay.
South Asian woman, like racist. But also like I also heard people talking about the fact that like their marriage was rushed because it happened so quickly after Nick and Priyanka's, and like most people who were like watching them were like, yeah, they should never have ended up together in the first place. Like it should have been a fun relationship, and then they're gone. They should not have kids.
I think, didn't they very much get married on a whim even? Like even that part of it was like, okay.
Yeah, and some of that was like there's speculation that some of that was motivated by Nick and Priyanka getting married. So I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah. It's one of those things, and it's the thing is we'll never know.
Yeah.
If it was because she was nasty to somebody that was part of Nick's family, we'll never know. But that would redeem him in my eyes. However, I do not care about these boys, so it's just an interesting bit of gossip.
Yeah. At this point. Update for anyone who's keeping track: my team did win. Yay team! Yay sports! And also, my cousin got MVP.
Oh, nice!
Very nice.
Yay cousin! Yay team! Yay sports!
Yay!
So I guess that answers the question about which team you're rooting for if you're rooting for Ireland or Germany in this. Like I know there's no question if Ireland is competing who you're rooting for, but you never know, maybe Ireland's not. But with this, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It's literally anybody but England.
I mean,
I will support a hole in the wall if they're playing England.
I feel like anybody but England, the US, and France is always a safe way to go.
Oh, we hate so there's a tournament of 6 rugby countries across Northern Europe. We all fucking hate France.
Okay. Fair enough.
What are you working on, Julie? Did you already say?
Oh, yeah, Julie.
10 minutes.
She's doing Granny Square Jeezies.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Okay, I remember this conversation.
What you reading? Are you reading?
Probably not, since I'm going to be watching a video to learn this. At least the first sprint.
Just have fun. I am available for all questions. I truly am.
Yeah, if I can get through the pattern and feel like I can not pay attention, I'll put on an audiobook, but if not, we'll just keep watching the video a couple of times. We'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, like, I will watch videos of like techniques and new stitches and things, and I will watch it and they'd be like, and you just do this and this and this and this and this, and I'm like, you need to slow down. I am baby.
Know what it is about patterns, but it's so much easier for me to understand a pattern. Like, I don't need to watch you do it. I just need you to read it out loud to me. I need you to explain it in stitches and all of that. It's so much easier than reading a written. I'm getting better at reading written patterns, but like speaking the pattern is so much easier.
Reading written patterns is coming along for me. There are still a couple of abbreviations that I'm not entirely certain about. But the majority of the time I'm like, oh yeah, I know what STST means. Yeah. Oh yes, I know what P1 means and all that stuff. I'm getting there. It's a slow process, but she's learning.
Yeah. Yes. I need to see you do it a couple of times, and then once I've seen you do it a couple of times, I'm able to pick it up, and then I just have to double check stuff. But like I'm doing the linen stitch here, and it's just I love the linen stitch. It's so easy, and it looks so nice.
I thought that you said I'm doing brioche stitch, and if you were doing that, I'd have to set you on fire because fuck the brioche stitch, it's so hard.
I don't know what the brioche stitch is, but I'm crocheting. I don't even know if that's something I can do.
It's a knitting stitch that genuinely, if somebody asks me to knit something in the brioche stitch, I will just return the pattern. I'm not here for that. Life's too short.
Okay, now I have to look this up. What does it look like?
It's in a lot of hats.
Oh.
I don't think I have the pattern, but it's in a pattern that I got for like a Secret Santa gift of a knitting hat box. So you got like the wool, you got a little pom-pom that you could fix to the top, you got the needles, you got a tapestry needle, and the like instructions for what to do. And I was just like, oh, it's got the brioche stitch in it. I mean, thank you so much. This is adorable.
Oh, okay. I see why it would be so hard, because it's like basically two layers of stitches, yeah?
Basically.
It's
when they kept going, and then you bring the yarn over. There was somebody I was watching it, and that was their accent. They were like, and then you bring the yarn over. And I was like, this is like Trixie Mattel trying to teach me how to knit, and it's not working.
Do you want to hate me more? It looks like it might be easier in crochet than it is in knitting.
Oh, shut up, Margaret.
Because in crochet, you're just literally doing a slip stitch over. It sounds like it's a little bit less complicated.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I think knitting or crochet can be a lot less complicated sometimes, but I do think that it also, the result is not nearly as smooth a lot of the time.
Yes.
For certain things. Like cables.
Yes. They do look a lot cleaner in a knit than they do in a crochet.
Yeah. Which is the funniest thing is I learned how to knit because I wanted to be able to make my own folklore cardigan.
Yes.
But I absolutely despise the moss stitch. And it's just I can do the seed stitch no problem, but if I have to keep track of 2 rows of one, 2 rows of another, apparently my brain can't do that. Anyways, I discovered that a lot of the cardigan is the moss stitch. I was looking at my cardigan one day and I was like, that's the fucking moss stitch.
Oh, I need to tackle that. I've got a couple saved on Pinterest that I really want to try out. Yeah. They intimidate me.
It's not a hard stitch. It's just one of those stitches that makes my brain not work.
It's a little bit repetitive looking.
It is. It's very repetitive.
It's fine because repetitive stitching kind of works for me because then it makes me actually learn what I need to do and how to do it. So
it's not a hard stitch. It's the keeping track that gets to me. Right?
That's why I tried to do this hat previously, and that's what killed me because I knitted row 8 as row 9 and then threw everything off.
Yeah, that's part of why I ended up getting. Hold on, come back here. I ended up getting these because I have a lot harder time counting rows in knit than I do in crochet. Crochet is very straightforward, very easy when it comes to counting rows. And so I was like, okay, if I get these, I can just put 1, 2, 3, 4. I can just keep doing that, and it'll be fine. And they help a lot.
You know what I think I need to get? One of those things that my dad has when he goes golfing, like a shot counter. One of those little clickers that, like, when I get to the end of the row, I'm just going to click it and be like, okay, I'm at 9 rows now.
Yeah.
What do I do next?
That would be dependent on me remembering
to click the thing.
Click it.
Would not.
That's the other hurdle.
Yeah. That's kind of like why I like these, because it's a physical reminder that when I get to it, that I need to change it to the next thing. And it goes all the way up to, I think, 90.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It goes all the way up to
I do have stitch markers. I'm not quite used to them.
Yeah. And I have regular stitch markers too, just like that's for when I need to like actually keep track of numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's quickly say hi to people and then sprint.
Yep. If anybody has a such, you shit bag. This didn't really work out according to the plan.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Help!
Oh no!
If anybody has a suggestion for what audiobook I should listen to while I am attempting to knit this Franken hat, please tell me. Because I hate decisions. Should I hold them up again?
Voting for the Duke and I over here.
Thank you.
You got 2 votes for the Duke and I, and we're the most matter.
Well, there you go. I'm gonna have to look if it is there because I have got an audiobook of Before We Forget Kindness. So that's also a very strong contender.
Nice. I'm gonna be trying to finish the Whispering Dark. I will see if I have to restart it because I started it in June of last year.
I understand that feeling.
Yeah, I've been there many times.
Yeah. Let's see.
Actually, I might edit because I need to do that. That should have been out days ago.
I also understand that feeling.
We were gonna edit on Wednesday, and then Wednesday went to shit.
Yeah. Wednesday, yeah. Yeah. I don't have any
Monday we just don't talk about. How about
Yeah.
that? We'll just pretend Wednesday didn't happen.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my bank account cannot forget that Wednesday happened. I have no problem talking about it. I'm just going to be complaining about this for the rest of my life.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Valid, I would say.
For those that don't know, a piece of metal tried to take me out on the highway on Wednesday. Only succeeded in taking out the radiator of my car, but it did strand me in Tifton, Georgia for a night. So, and it's still not finished repairing the entirety of the damage, but I did get home.
Well, I'm glad for that too.
The funniest thing is my dad's like, I don't know that I like the idea of you traveling in a car that's this old. And I was like, Dad, as long as I keep on top of the maintenance, the only things that are really a problem traveling in an old car are things that would happen to me in a new car, like what just happened, or a tire going out, or a collision.
Right.
Like, I know that I'm at a point that if I'm going to travel a long distance, I have to take the car to the mechanic and have them look over it, make sure all the belts are good, all of that stuff. Make sure the oil gets changed. It's only 13 years old and it's a Honda.
Oh.
See, Japanese cars are just built to last.
Yeah. So I do worry that the parts are going to start getting a little more expensive for it. Like they're going to get expensive anyways, but like the tariffs that they have with Japan.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is a Honda. It's only at 100,000 miles and it's only 13 years old. That's not old. That's not high mileage for a Honda. So
no.
I'm not worried. I'm more worried about freak accidents like what happened than I am about it breaking down on me.
Right. Exactly.
So. Great news for Margaret and Julie. I have sourced an audiobook of The Duke and I by Julia Quinn.
Very
wonderful. Nice. Can't wait.
Margaret's opened herself, Julie also, to a world of, oh my God, and then this happened.
I love it.
Yep. It's the first two Bridgerton books, in my opinion, are the best of them as far as the relationship goes. Book 4 was up there.
You did not like book 3.
I fucking hate it. So here's the thing: is if we were judging just by the middle 100 pages that I hated, book 3 would have been a 1 star. But like I liked the beginning and I liked the end. But there's like 100 pages in there where I'm like, fuck Benedict.
Mm-hmm. I didn't read further than 1, but I feel like that's appropriate for him. If he's
maybe we should read the other 7 together.
We can try.
Julie's like, no, please don't make me.
That's true. I have only watched season 1. I keep meaning to go back to the others, but
I have not watched I haven't watched a single second of it. I've watched like
the show is far less problematic in most areas, to be honest, with the exception of that one scene.
Except for that part.
And I am also, I feel, in the outlier, an outlier in that.
Okay.
Anyways, no, I just like, to be honest, I feel like what happens in book 3 is worse. Like more egregious to me.
Okay.
The Benedict's book is more egregious to me. And I know that's a weird thing to say about what happens in book 1. But like,
there's something worse than that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is it's not.
Killer?
So in book 3, I feel like this is something that actually happens to women on a regular basis, almost every day, and it's being romanticized versus something that, in my opinion, like at least they talked about and acknowledged was shitty, even if she didn't regret it. Like they talked, and like it doesn't happen again. That's my thing. Is once it happens, they talk about it. They don't really talk about it, but they kind of talk about it.
They brush over it.
It's they brush over it. It's one of those things though that you're like, okay, it doesn't happen again. Whereas we have someone repeatedly violating a boundary. Like it's not a split second terrible decision that someone makes. it's someone repeatedly violating a boundary that the other character is asking for. And I'm just like, I know she loves him, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Why is he everyone's favorite?
Is the third one a kind of a Cinderella retelling of sorts?
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
She is in the service industry.
It never goes it never goes over well with me in historical romance.
And here's the thing, if someone had not been as pushy as they are, it actually would have worked really well, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
Like my issue is not that she ends up she's a servant and he is not, because she's being forced into a position that she shouldn't be in the first place. Got it. That's a whole thing. My issue is that she repeatedly asks him to leave her alone, and he ignores it.
Oh, fuck that.
Yeah,
and he knows she loves him. And I'm just like we could have had a really interesting, hey, so we're going to be seeing each other a lot based on who you're working for.
Mm-hmm.
We handle this because we had a thing. We kind of there's a thing here. We know that. How do you want me to handle this? How do you want me to, do you want me to not acknowledge you? Do you want me to, what do you want?
Yeah.
So again, once everything's out in the open, it's fine. It's just the whole bit where he's like, would you like to be my mistress?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sabrina's going to be crocheting their blanket, but need to go to the store to get more yarn.
Feel that.
Good luck. Good luck coming home only with the things you need.
Yeah. Stay strong, little butterfly.
Yeah.
I have not been able to stay strong lately.
Mm-mm.
I mean, Joanne closing is going to definitely help with my yarn buying habits because they have prettier yarns there than at Michael's. Because a lot of Michael's is their brand yarn, which is pretty.
Mm-hmm.
But problem is there was never a Zostergrina shop very close to me that I was like, oh, I can just mosey in here for a little bit after workies. There's one opened a 10-15 minute walk from my house.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
I can now mosey on in here tomorrow, should I feel up to it.
Yep.
It's dangerous. It's devastating. They did a grand opening on a Friday morning, and I was genuinely pissed off because it was a Friday morning and I had to work. I was like, I wanted to be there so that I could get a good proper look at how this place looks now. And the German was like, yeah, but you have a job. You have meetings on Friday mornings.
But yarn.
I know.
Oh my God. When I submitted, so I didn't get a send away party when I left my last job. It was 2 people that showed up for my send away party because they'd been planning on having it on Friday because they had forgotten that I submitted, before I even turned in my 2 weeks notice, knowing when I was going to quit, I submitted a request off for that day because I was like, hey, my dad's going to be taking me to do some stuff. There's a thing that I have to do insurance wise. Mm-hmm. My boss completely, but I had submitted that because I do not want to go through another Friday meeting. I'm not interested in another single fucking one of these. This will be my last Friday meeting. I should have taken off all of my Fridays, to be honest.
Yeah.
Fair.
Because I definitely had time left over, and in the state I live in, they don't have to pay you your time, any time accrued.
Oh, so, that's mean.
Yep, that's it's the workplace's prerogative if they pay you for any sort of time PTO that you have not used.
That's fun.
Yep. This was also the place that wanted 30 days notice for PTO. 30 fucking days.
No, thank you.
30.
It was. I told them, I was like, this does not comport with most other workplaces. Other workplaces are 2 weeks notice.
Can I tell you what some German authorities will do, this is not a lie, they'll have you fill out your entire holiday needs in January for the whole year.
Nice.
No, not nice.
Well,
What
no,
if
you
you
have
accidentally, like, what if you suddenly need to take a day in August and they're like, well, no, because you've A, used up all your 30 days, and B, you know that you're supposed to have them submitted by the 12th of January or whatever.
That's ridiculous. No, because that
Right.
means that you have like they're saying you have to decide what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're getting an idea of who will need to be out when. They're being, oh no, you have to decide what you're taking off now.
Ugh.
That's ridiculous.
I know one of our drivers at work that does deliveries, his company makes them, I think it's like every July when things like renew, basically. They have to put everything in a year ahead of time.
Nah,
like, doctors, it's to keep people from interviewing. And I know for a fact that it was to keep people from interviewing because they point, maybe it was in the handbook before. I hadn't read the employee handbook before. But like she highlighted after one of our, like I had a coworker that she was constantly leaving for appointments. The appointments were because she was interviewing somewhere else.
Good for her.
Yeah, she was. And they highlighted it after she left. And I was like, oh, you're pissed because like you're highlighting this because of this.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, we can make exceptions and stuff. Like, no, you should have that thought about already in your policy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Okay.
I was distracted again.
You're good. We're just chatting. Tennille is going to be crafting, or possibly. We'll have to see what happens. But Tennille did say they have Highland Games in Nova Scotia too, but it literally translates as New Scotland.
Makes sense.
I feel like you had the Highland Games anywhere there is a high likelihood of any sort of Scottish or Irish population.
Yeah.
Especially like specifically over here, like diaspora.
Yeah. Yeah. All righty then.
I think there's some places that call them the Celtic Games.
Do they?
Like specific little cities.
Mm-hmm.
Like where I am, it's the specific cities Highland. I'm not going to say it, but the specific cities Highland Games. So,
I have heard that term.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I've heard of, I think I've seen it other, like they'll use other names sometimes, but I feel like we have a lot of that over here because we have to connect with our heritage. You know.
Yeah. Okie doke. Let's hit a sprint. I'll see if I can make the daisy, and we will come back in an hour, 45 minutes. What are we feeling?
I'm feeling whatever.
I'm feeling either is good with me.
Okay, then we'll do an hour.
Cool.
And I will see you then.
See you then.
Hello. How was your sprint?
Okay. I have a big complaint about the very beginning of the first Bridgerton book, to which I have already sent Margaret.
Oh no.
This man bred his wife to death.
I mean, it's so hard.
Okay with that?
No, we're not supposed to be okay with that. He's
Okay,
a terrible
good, because I'm not.
No.
It's so hard. It's so sad because there were so many women who either like were pressured into doing that or did that to themselves because they want, because like, especially in her situation, because she has no kids. Like, it's not a situation where she has a couple of kids and she just likes having babies, right?
Yeah.
I know people who are like, or not I know, like I know of people who've been like that. It's one of those things where she just wanted a kid so badly.
And also, it's a bit of a Henry VIII situation in that if you don't give me a son, I'm gonna slash your tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're not supposed to be okay with that. He is a terrible person. Just wait.
Fucking terrible father.
Angry at him.
He's a fucking terrible father. Well, he's dead now, so
Yep.
I don't know how much more damage he can do unless we got Ouija boards in the 1812s.
I mean, the damage continues.
No, don't you say I mean. He's gone. He's non-existent.
You can't. You have to process the trauma to move away from the trauma, man.
Oh, is Simon gonna go to therapy? Good for him.
Do you think this man has processed his trauma?
No, bro. No. This man can't even process milk right now.
To be fair, no one in that time period really did.
Nobody processed milk back then. They didn't have pasteurization.
No, hold on, they might have, no, because I think it was 1827 when pasteurization was invented.
They are certainly not processing their trauma. Not well.
No. They need TikTok therapy badly. Just even as like an entry-level therapy back then.
Yeah, I have a beef against TikTok therapy, to be honest, because I think a lot of people have started using the language of therapy to justify themselves being shitty people and like not living in a society.
What was it? Have you ever seen those pictures of people who are like, I just need to step back from this friendship for a minute because it's not giving me everything that I need from a friendship right now, when it's literally just like, yeah, I mean, my dad died 4 months ago and I just had a baby, so I've had other priorities, but sure, you go ahead and have your TikTok therapy talk.
They could not have survived the friend group I had because there was a lot of effort on my end that my friends were not able to reciprocate because they had small children, and I understood that.
Yeah.
Like I was like,
change.
It was so funny because my friends, like, we're not friends anymore for other reasons, but like we just kind of grew apart.
Mm-hmm.
I outgrew them, as I like to say. But like my friends would always be like, oh yeah, like be so apologetic of me having to work around their child's schedule. And I'm like, no, like I recognize that this is a price of still being friends with you, and it's a price I'm willing to pay. I understand. I have a lot more. I'm like that with even my like married friends. I understand that I have a lot more flexibility in my schedule at this point than people do. Yeah. And so I'm like than a lot of my other friendships. And I'm like, it's fine if I have to do a little bit of legwork, if I have to put a little more, if we have to, I'm happy to go around your schedule because that is easy for me to do. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's not that I had to work around your kids that we're not friends anymore. It's that I had to remind you I existed as often as I did.
There's a difference between I've had a kid, I don't have as much time anymore, and I have a kid, I am never seeing you again.
Yeah, because it's one of those things that like this was something that these friendships struggled with before they had children, especially when they were long distance friendships. And it was one of the like I made a point of making sure that, and my friends were so grateful for it, making sure that like we still hung out after they had babies, because I knew that it's really hard for new moms.
Yeah.
To have people that
Focus said that you have to stop talking now.
No.
It was a great point, but Let's maybe focus.
No, you're
is
a happy mom.
And they're just like, no, shut the fuck up. I'll be friends with who I want to be.
No. I mean, it was one of those things that these particular friends, like they were, my two best friends were sisters, and so they didn't actually, like, they were complete in their friendships. I needed them more than they needed me, and they quite often forgot I existed and just didn't.
Okay.
Like, every single thing we did was me reaching out to them.
Yeah, that gets too much after a while.
There's a certain point where I stopped doing that, and it's one of those things I was like, if I was not having to do so much work in this friendship, if they put even a little bit more work, we would still be friends despite the political differences. But they were not interested in it, so I was just like, well,
you did what you could.
Yeah, I believe. And you can only sustain that so long before.
Yeah.
I also suspect that at least one of them, I don't know that she would have gotten vaccinated, and I'm like, that's kind of important if we want to still be in the same physical space as each other.
Yeah, it's important for me to be friends with people who are alive.
Like, I know her husband got vaccinated because she said he did because of where he worked. Okay. She's like, he was so tired of wearing a mask. I was like, girl, it's 2021. Yeah. We are still in the throes, ma'am.
Yeah. We were in the trenches back in 2021.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you get flack now because you are still masking?
I've gotten dirty looks.
Okay.
From people on occasion. I don't get a lot of flack, and like, I don't like. I wouldn't be surprised if like my family talks about me behind my back a little bit, but like they don't give me a hard time about it. And it's one of those things I'm like, my lungs are already shitty enough.
Yeah.
I like that I don't get
want to be inviting COVID
anymore. So yeah, no, although I was not masking these last couple of days because when I turned my car into the shop the first time, I left all of my masks in my car. I was like, oh well, I guess we're just raw dogging the air. It's fine. There's not a lot of people here.
Yeah.
No one seems to be visibly ill. We're good.
Yeah. That's
primarily like my thing is when I'm wearing it now, it's I'm on a plane, I'm on public transportation, that kind of thing. Because I recognize that like I wish I lived in a world where I felt comfortable not masking, but I just know way too many people that will go out when they are ill and not do anything. I'm like, maybe if I lived somewhere
but COVID doesn't exist anymore. It's not a thing anymore. People don't get COVID anymore.
It's not even, I don't even like, it's not just COVID. It's like all of the like cold and flu season that goes around and stuff. Yeah. Again, I used to get taken out for weeks at a time, 2 to 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Because if I get a cold, it very quickly goes down here and tries to get me to stop breathing.
Yep.
So, and like there are certain states where I'm more comfortable being unmasked than others, but Florida is not one of them.
I think that's fair.
Like our vaccination rates, not great.
Oof.
So.
Yeah. Isn't there like the map of primarily Republican states and the map of non-vaxxers is
it's a circle.
The same map?
It's a circle.
Yeah.
The Venn diagram is a circle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same picture.
It's a circle. So I fully came from an anti-vax household and moved into a vax. Like I am growing up, I was anti-vax. I am no longer anti-vax. Like I fully believed it. That's why I'm so like there are certain elements of woo that I'm like, actually, no, that's maybe worth experiment because I grew up in it trying to find solutions for my eczema and my allergies. So I know some of it works. But I'm also like, but helping big old dose of salt, your mileage may vary. because shit that's worked for me may not work for someone else. And I think that's
right.
That's where so many people get caught in by grifters is the grifters they say, oh, this will work for everybody. It's not. No. Everybody, it's not going to be any different than if there is no single medication that will work for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There is no single naturopathic thing that will work for everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
So. Anyways.
Julie, how are the granny squares coming along?
So we got one.
Oh, it's cute.
Very cute. It's very much tighter and more solid on this side than this side. So I have
first attempt, it's good.
Just a warm up, right?
Yeah.
So now we're starting number 2, the daisy part. So, but yes.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, it's very cute. Very springy. How's your hat?
Hat looks like this. So I had to restart the bowl.
Got it.
Because of that little knot that was there in the middle of the bowl, which unraveled the second I tried to put the needle into the stitch. I was like, oh, okay. I'll just start again.
Yeah.
It got so freaking annoying. But also I'm at the point where I need to change from 5 millimeters to 6.5. And that is always so hard to do just because of how small the stitch is that you're trying to get the fatter needle into. It's a nightmare.
I'm so sorry for you.
It's okay. I've gotten through it. I'm done. I'm good now.
She did it.
Hold on. I have a video on how to join thread from TikTok that I'll send you, Aoife.
Oh, listen. Those videos, I've watched them. I could watch them until the friggin' cows come home. And I will still not really know what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Like, I've seen that one where it's just like, oh, you split the thread and then you wet it and then... And I was just like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I'm tying an invisible knot. I like invisible knots.
Oh.
I have done the thing where you try to thread it through the yarn. My thing is that just ends up being so bulky.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing about this invisible knot is you have to do it exactly the way it is in the video, or it does come undone, because I do have a section where it popped because I did it backwards.
Oh, we don't love that.
So now I just pull up the video every single time that I am tying a knot.
I would do the same thing. I can't be trusted to do anything.
I feel like maybe in like 50 or 60 go-throughs of this, I will know how to do it.
I like how we're learning our learning styles today.
Yeah. Look at us learning how to be old ladies doing crafts.
Yeah.
We're doing the thing. Margaret, how's the blanket?
Margaret, how's the blanket? Margaret, how is the blanket? That's a good question. I'm moving. Let's see. What day have we gotten to at this point? I'm doing my second row of the red because I had 2 days that were like 50 to 100 days. So let's see. But what I should do is tell you guys what day of what date I'm up to. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am up to, because I'm right before I had 2 0 days in a row. I am on the 25th of March.
Okay.
Not far behind.
Nope.
You're not far behind.
Terribly. So anyways.
What? A week? 2 weeks? That's
it looks like a little less than 2 weeks. Oh, speaking of 2 weeks, I need to message people. We have D&D this Tuesday, and I have 2 players that have not filled out their form yet.
Oh, no.
I'm like, let's make this easy on everyone. I'm going to give you a form of things, questions to answer, so I can figure out where your character is going next.
I had a call to start my very own D&D campaign yesterday morning.
Oh, nice.
She took me through D&D and Beyond. She's going to be the DM, so she took me through like D&D and Beyond. Showed me like, this is how you make your character, this is how you can decide what class they are, this is how you can decide like their weapons and things, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so overwhelmed.
Aoife, do you want me to help you build a character? We can get on and I'll help you build a character.
That might be a fun idea. I have like ideas in that I think I would like to be a magic character and not a combative character. So I am thinking something along the line. Why are you looking at me like that? You shouldn't be looking at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that? Why are you looking at me like that? You like
You know what? You know what? I will say there
this is
can.
really bad on my back.
You know what? We can discuss the difference between like casters and like martial characters. Casters are so much fun to play. They are slightly more complicated than the character that just gets to like hit things.
Okay.
Just to keep that in mind.
I was looking at like a druid.
Okay, a druid's not okay. Druids aren't terrible. That's actually one of the like. I would caution against like a wizard, maybe.
Okay.
If it's your first time, unless you like the like kind of more crunchy aspects of it. But a druid is actually pretty decent. Do you know what level you're supposed to start at?
1.
Oh.
I'm a baby.
I'm judging your DM.
Baby.
I'm a baby.
No. Okay, level 1. That worked. You know what? That'll be the easiest though. So, druids are fun. I've never played one, but they do seem to be, especially when you start getting them into some of the higher levels and getting some of the other stuff. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do a druid, I'd say just do Circle of the Moon, in which case you don't have to worry about whether or not the stuff will be available on D&D Beyond.
Also, she kept saying like D&D and Beyond is going to... Nice.
Listen, your caster can also be really hot.
Nice. She did say that there's like a bi stereotype that everybody picks like a something tiefling. And I was like, okay. Are you trying to tell me to pick that? Are you trying to subliminally message?
Yeah, this is one of those things that I don't understand, but yes, the tiefling is one of canonically like every gay person's favorite character. I think it's the tail.
Maybe.
The tail. I don't know. Anyways, you know what? You can be anything. I usually play a half elf, apparently.
Okay.
I have seen that character. We were going for Loki, but female. Which I feel like that character did capture pretty well. And this was pre-Sylvie, so we didn't have Sylvie as an option.
I feel like that character would like a female Loki style would cause many a gay awakening.
I mean,
oh yeah,
in the comics,
and many a gay panic.
Listen, Loki is canonically gender fluid because one of his kids, or primarily he at one point was a she, and that is how we got Sleipnir, because he became a mare and she gave birth to Sleipnir. Norse mythology is wild, guys.
I know, man.
It is one of the ones that like you shouldn't try to follow the family tree ever, but but Norse mythology makes it exceptionally difficult.
I feel like potentially like Norse mythology is a little less incestuous than like Greek mythology.
True.
I do feel that they do have that going for them.
True. But just the jumps around of who's related to who, how.
At what point, in which, yeah. Norse mythology we also have a lot less of than we do Greek, and like that's one of the things you run into is Greek and Roman mythology. We have the most information on those,
right?
Because there was so much that was preserved through Rome. Whereas with both Norse and Egyptian mythology, we don't have nearly as much that was preserved for them. In one case, I think a lot of it is because we don't like that, like Egyptian language. I don't remember the exact name. but that wasn't something that was kept and prioritized in the same way that Greek and Latin was. Same thing with Norse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also, the Norse people got conquered by Rome and had stuff. Well, actually, no, that was more like Britain and that area.
Wow, British people conquered shit?
What?
No, they were conquered.
They were conquered this time? And they still didn't sit back and think, hey, this isn't fun.
Here's the thing. Well, you probably don't need to talk. The thing people don't realize about like the Norman conquest of England is like most of the people in power were French, and that's why England is the way it is. We'd be looking at a very different world if the Anglo-Saxons and Jutes had remained in power.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So,
just to say hello, we did have a Kiana.
Hello.
And a Rainy, who I think Rainy and Katie are probably gone because they were also doing sprints. But thanks for stopping by. Hello, Abs. How are you? And Alicia is also sprinting, so she just stopped in to say hello. And of course, we do have a Brianna.
Hey,
We said hello during our D&D hellos. And a Vanessa, currently reading Still Remember Me for book club. Very nice.
How are you enjoying that, Vanessa? Because I have heard it makes a lot of repetition about Rysand, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to put me off. If you get me.
Interesting.
But also, Abby and I are only recently becoming good friends again.
Were you having a falling out?
Yeah, I think very seriously, the friend zone should be fired into the sun with no parole.
Oh.
Never, ever let that book see light.
At first, I thought you were talking about the concept of the friend zone.
Yeah, the concept of the friend zone is also dumb.
Yes. Then I caught up. I remembered she has a book.
She does. Didn't read any of the others in that series. Have read Part of Your World and Just for the Summer, but not the one in between. Because heard there's a trigger in the one in between that I don't think is ever done quite particularly good.
Gotcha. Cool. I don't know if Vanessa is still here because I think she might be on the same sprints as Rainy and Katie.
Yeah.
So,
that's okay.
I think they are reading that on a live though. So if you want to hear thoughts.
I have seen that. I might go back and look it up.
Yeah. Might be worth your time. But yeah.
Yes. I have that to read for Brittany's book club because I think it was the March-April book. Have I picked it up? Have I read it? No. Should I? Probably. I've had it for 2 months.
I mean,
there's still time. It's still April now.
Yeah. I don't think Brittany has read it either.
No. Brittany reads the book like 5 minutes before a live show.
Yes.
Yep. That's typically how I do. I'm like, I'm gonna read the book. Like, listen, if I have to discuss the book, it's probably best that I read it as close to when the live show is going to happen as I can.
Yeah.
I'm mildly worried about like how the Holy Terrors discussion is going to go because I'm like, I need to read this ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have the discussion till the end of the month.
Yes. So some of it will be gone.
Yeah. So that means I have to take notes. I suck at taking notes when I'm reading, unless it's nonfiction.
Mm-hmm. I am slowly, very slowly training myself to remember to take the notes.
Mm-hmm.
But it is not a consistent training process.
That's okay. It happens. We'll get there.
Yeah. Someday.
So, like, it's one of those things where, like, taking the notes interrupts me being able to read the book. I want to read the book, man.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious considering that I am the first person to, like, start texting friends when I am reading a book that they've suggested I read and I have thoughts.
Yeah.
Brianna can tell you that there have been walls of text, but Brianna has woken up to walls of text in certain group chats. Just nothing but just bubbles of text from me as I go through all the emotions.
I don't know, but I feel like that tracks. I feel like that makes sense for you.
You would know. You would know too.
This has also happened to me, I believe. I'm gonna have to start this friggin' hat all over again.
Oh
again.
No. Oh no.
You know what? Fuck the hat. Fuck the hat. I'm making my blanket. Fuck the hat today.
Do something that brings you joy, Eva.
Yeah.
Putting this hat into the fucking sun, that's gonna bring me joy today.
I mean, sometimes that's the way the project goes. You just have to be like, it's not the day.
You know what? I think the weather's trying to tell me, what the hell are you doing knitting a hat today?
How warm is it there?
I don't know what it is in you guys' language, but in my guys' language, it's 11 degrees Celsius.
So, like, not super warm.
That's not warm.
I'm gonna guess like low to mid 50s.
Wait,
that's still hat weather, Eva.
It's weird hat weather because we're coming from Friday was 21.
That's 51 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's also 11 here.
Weather, hat weather. See, 21 is 70 degrees here, which is not hot weather unless you want the hat.
No, the hat would have been overkill on 21 degrees.
Yeah.
I don't think I am good at corners, is what I'm learning here.
Or yeah, corners are a special skill that you gotta hone.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
They start to make, as someone who's done, this is my third blanket that I've done that is like so many corners. They start to make sense at some point.
That's good. I can just keep making these. I don't really care. They're fun. They're cute. It's just
they are very cute.
They're gonna be a little lopsided.
They are. That's part of, I mean, like some of that is you do have to, especially with granny squares, you'll have to block them.
Yeah.
Because of the way yarn works, and because they're so small, corners get a lot easier to see once you get them. Like if it's bigger, right?
Yes.
So.
Yes.
They kind of look like amorphous shapes until you, on a small scale. Yeah. Unless you block them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't have a block yet, but I do want to. That's on the list of things to acquire for this hobby.
Yeah, you really don't need it unless you're doing something like granny squares or you're doing like clothing items, things like that have to fit a certain way, or you want to hang/drape a certain way from what I've researched.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, shall we sprint again?
I think so.
Ready? Good? Okay. We will do another hour and then reassess.
That sounds good with me.
Okay. All right. See you in an hour. Hello, everybody. How was your sprint?
Okay.
It was good?
Yeah, everything was. It went better than the last one in that I didn't try to put anything into the sun, which is good.
That's good.
I used the knot technique that Margaret sent me and have joined together a couple of pieces of yarn that needed to be joined together
Excellent.
with the hope that none of them will ravel.
Cool. Was that easier than your previous method?
It was so much easier.
Yay!
But let's see if they stick together when I start knitting them.
Yeah.
That'll be the true test.
Nice.
Nice. What did you get up to, Margaret?
I started my weekly reset routine. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do this now. And I need to finish the reformatory in like 9 hours. It's going back today. I'm glad I checked. Because it's going back. I can return this. I can return this one. I don't need that. I own the 3 copies of this book. I don't need it now. Anyways, yeah, it goes back, let's see, due in 9 hours, it goes back at 10:32 p.m. And I still have, I have 5 hours and 50 minutes, and that's not at the speed, that's at the normal speed, so I should be good.
That's so doable.
Yeah, I can manage this.
Good. Yeah. Nice. Can you tell us, are you enjoying?
Oh, yeah. So this is, I picked this up for Michael LeBourne's Left Unread book club, and I just didn't finish it in time to do the book club discussion, but it is a fascinating novel. It's set in Florida, and it is set in, I think it's the 1950s? Yeah, 1950, and we're following a Black family, a brother and a sister primarily, that there was a white kid that was like his sister's age that made a move on his sister. In his presence, and he kicked the white boy to defend his sister, and has been sent to this place called the Reformatory, and has been forced to help them because it's kind of almost like a gothic horror type situation. Well, not really gothic. It's like a boarding school horror or jailhouse horror or something. He's at this reform school, and there are ghosts from boys who have died in terrible ways in the past that he has been forced to help find, as he's also trying to survive this school, and he and his sister are trying to help him escape, because it's like the kind of school that if you are not white, well, even some of the white kids, if you're sent there, they do their best to keep you there, even if your sentence, his sentence is only 6 months.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they're trying to plan his escape and all of this stuff. It is really, really, it's not an easy book to read, but it's very good. And Tana Reeve is a Floridian, which means that she talks about my home state like it's real. She's writing about stuff that I'm like, yeah, only a local would know this.
Oh, okay.
Cities that you're not going to see someone talk about. It's like the level of when Taylor Swift said a timeshare down in Destin. Most people don't know Destin, Florida exists.
I didn't.
Nope. I learned.
In the U.S., they do not know about Destin. That's so ridiculously specific. I'm like, how, Taylor?
How did you
Don't question her.
She knows things.
I'm not questioning her. I just am so... She knows more about my state than most people who are not from here.
Okay.
She knows things.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and I know that her dad owns a condo very near where I live, or owned a condo very near where I live. Literally a spot that I used to go by on a daily basis.
Oh, that's cool.
And, yeah. And so, I know she has to have, she knows people who've spent time in Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew he had a condo
in Florida.
The Tampa Bay area. I did not, I was having an argument with someone online, so I looked it up to double check that I was correct, because I do that. I always am it's so funny. The things that I know, I'm always the most concerned about getting wrong. And I was like, oh,
I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly where that is. This is weird.
I know things until I try to say them to another person, then I gaslight myself and say I don't know them.
Yes.
God, if only
100%.
We need to learn how to have the confidence of a 30-year-old podcast mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, they don't care if they actually know shit. No. Meanwhile, I'm like, I'm not trained to be able to do this. I wouldn't be good at this. I shouldn't do this. Oh, okay.
I have to check my height to tell someone. Let alone. Not really. Yeah. As an example.
Yeah, that's not a thing that short people do. We know exactly how short we are.
I know exactly what height I am.
I don't even tell people my true height because it sounds so pedantic to say I'm 5'3/4". I'm 5 foot. I'm either 5 foot or I'm 5'1", depending on the day. It's like 5 3/4 is such a reach, right? Like such a short person thing to say. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
That extra 3/4 makes such a difference, you know.
It really does.
Yeah. It's
real. Mean, it does some days. Some days it really does.
Some days I feel it and some days I do not.
Yeah. Especially when you're trying to reach the top. There are certain things on the top shelf that I can in fact just barely reach.
Yes.
Oh, the top shelf is I need to take stepladder out area. I don't reach the top shelf unaided.
I just hop my ass up on the counter.
I can't. There isn't enough counter space to do that.
We have we definitely have the amount of counter space you need to do that. It's very funny. I am not a big fan of heights unless it's a kitchen counter, in which case that's fine.
That's different though.
Random window, yeah, that's fine.
Random
walkway
window.
In a massive, a 16-story condo. I'm not looking over the freaking side. No, thank you. No, I'm not looking down.
The way to fall off a kitchen counter is much less than that. Than
yeah.
I think that's reasonable.
The damage is probably not that bad.
It will hurt, especially in my house because we have tile in the kitchen.
Yeah, we have tile.
Right.
It'll hurt. You'll break something probably.
Laminate here.
You won't. You'll be fine. You just, as long as you don't hit your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just protect your noggin.
Isn't that amazing how much damage your body can take, but then there are certain things that you have that happen to you once and you're probably
gone.
Yeah.
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 A really swift hit to the temple will kill you instantly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually
and that always surprises me because if somebody just does this really hard, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
Lights out.
Somebody I used to follow on Twitter, they were at the beach and her husband tripped and fell and hit his chin and decapitated himself internally. He was fine 1 minute. He fell the kind of fall that so many people have and are fine.
Yeah.
But because of how he hit, she was a widow with 3 kids. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wait.
I try not to think about all of the ways the human body can go wrong.
What a fucking horrible way to go.
Yeah. It's funny how you can be there are terrible things that can happen to you. And I'm fine thinking about those. And then there's specific things that I'm like, oh no, this causes me anxiety. I don't like it.
Yeah. I don't eat boiled sweets when I'm at home on my own because what if I choke?
There's
nobody here to save me.
I'm fine in an airplane. Elevators make me a little sweaty.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'll get on a roller coaster, but if you give me a choice between the elevator and stairs, 9 times out of 10, your girl is taking the elevator if she is on her own.
Mm-hmm. I'm not a fan of elevators.
No.
I
At all.
find them.
I feel like they just I know that they go through regular maintenance. They do not go through nearly the amount of regular maintenance that both roller coasters and airplanes go through. So,
yeah.
Like my brain is like, nope. Don't like.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Especially since some of them can be so like creaky sounding.
And we have an elevator at my work, and sometimes when I have to ride it, I'm just like, how long would it take someone to figure out I was missing? Like, if
Do you
this
know
stopped.
how many times I have that conversation with myself just day-to-day basis?
Yeah, that's true too.
Day-to-day stuff, like I live alone. If it was like if I died on like a Friday afternoon, how long would it be until somebody's like, this is weird?
You think the German wouldn't notice?
The German would notice. The German would notice. But if he wasn't in the picture, I'm like, people probably wouldn't notice until Monday morning when I didn't turn up for work.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I mean, the number of times that ends up being the case for people who are married or do have roommates or because somebody's out of town or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's true too. Yeah.
So
that's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, I made another daisy.
Yay! You got another daisy. I will say in college we had a very sketchy elevator, and I took great comfort in the fact that Verizon, I don't know if it's the case now, but Verizon still had reception.
Okay, that's good. You want an elevator that has reception.
Yes.
So I feel like it's probably better now, and if you were stuck in an elevator, as long as you had your phone, you'd probably be fine. Most carriers.
Right.
But
yeah. As long as I have my phone, I would be able to text someone. There is cell phone reception in that elevator, but I often leave my phone on my desk.
Yeah, that also tends to happen.
Yeah.
Especially if I'm in the office and I'm going to a meeting, I'm like, I'm not going to bring my phone with me because that's weird. And then it's like, oh yeah, but what if for some reason the lift stops working?
I bring my phone with me everywhere because if I have even 30 seconds to do something that I'm down, I'm probably pulling it out to look up stuff.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Especially if I'm like sitting waiting on a work meeting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just sit there and do nothing. I'm going to pull up Twitter and scroll, man. I'm very glad that when I broke down, I had cell phone reception.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would have been a very, very far hike if I had to go get help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know that I would have been able to get help from a business establishment. I feel like I probably would have had to hope that I knocked on the door of a polite and not dangerous stranger.
Yeah.
Oh, Julie has a picture of where I broke down. I'm gonna send that to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah. The highway can be either very populous or it can be a stretch of nothing.
And I think I was outside of like a small town.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that like there was not like it looked like the beginning of a horror movie kind of thing, right?
Oh, fun.
Where did it go? There, okay, there it is. There, I sent that. Like there was like I could see what had been a gas station off to my left off the highway, and then I could see what had been a gas station on the right, and both of them do not look like they were not in use. And
not
then
for a long time.
Yeah, the only other like thing was like a restaurant, and the tow truck driver was like, yeah, that place is closed too.
Oof.
So
very glad you had reception.
I was very glad I had reception. Very glad I was able to get over, and I was able to get over on like the right side on an exit rather than having to be right on the highway.
Yeah.
So, but I will say Georgia Highway Patrol or whatever the sheriff's office they suck. I mean, ACAB all day. but like they really did not have any sort of suggestions or resources to help with the situation. Like, yeah, you'll just have to call if you have a tow. Like, what if I didn't have some sort of tow assistance from my insurance? What would be happening here when you've got someone stranded in a state where they don't live?
You just have to deal with it.
Yeah. Like all of those resources going towards our law enforcement, and they can't help in one of the few things that is actually is a service that could be a part of their job.
Yeah.
What highway patrol is better than that? I don't want to answer a spam survey. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, and I don't have their patrol for the record either, but they do have like the ability to help people. I have seen it happen.
Right. And you'd think, especially if you're telling them, like, I'm not from around here. Like, even if you were from a different part of Georgia, it's like, I don't know where I am exactly. I need some kind of guidance, anything.
Yeah, it was one of those situations. If I had known which county I was in, which I didn't, I probably would have called the non-emergency number, but the non-emergency numbers were like, here is each county. And I was like, well, I don't know where I am. So I called 911. Right. So, anyways, try to avoid doing that.
But you got home, and that is the main thing.
Yes.
I just will complain about it for the rest of my life. Or at least until something else happens that's complain-worthy.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's fair.
Listen, I think it's a hilarious joke that my most anticipated book of the year ended up being $3,000, basically.
Have you considered billing Margaret Owens?
I have not considered billing Margaret Owen. No.
I think you should, at least for the emotional trauma it caused.
So, like, I was gonna say, I'm like, I think she would get a kick out of the story. I just don't know how. Like, I'm like, I hope she sees this because I think she'd think it was hilarious.
Yeah,
but like, it's not her fault.
Oh, no.
I feel like you have to save it for billing her for the emotional damage her book is going to do to you.
Oh, yeah, then you can just send the two at once.
Yeah.
2 invoices at one time, easy.
I do need to make this author owes me for like the therapy bills bookmark that I want to make.
Yes.
I would have to look some things up.
I did spend a good chunk of that sprint hunting down this crochet hook.
Rude.
Yeah,
I didn't. Why would you need it?
I fully didn't remember where it was, and none of my normal places. So it wasn't a tote bag that went with me to my best friend's house 3 weeks ago. So
they always end up in the most random places. I am still missing a crochet hook to this day. I use crochet hooks to like catch fallen stitches. Cannot remember where the hell I put it. I think it just lives in the other realms now.
I am so lazy. I have a box that has all of my knitting and crochet supplies. I need to get a bigger box, I think, for them at some point because it is running out of space. But a lot of my crochet hooks have just been stuck in the pin holder that I keep beside my computer.
That's where mine is.
That's a great place.
That's where mine is right now.
So I'm just like, yeah, my most often used crochet hooks, I just store them with my pins because that's I'm there half the time.
Yep.
Is where I when I need it. So
this specific one usually lives on my desk just because I have it so much. Yeah. But the rest of them live in this like thing, and then I just have this in my yarn box. Yeah, it's very handy. But
nice.
Julie from 3 weeks ago did not follow procedure.
God damn it, Julie.
What are you doing?
I don't know what she was thinking that I would remember that that's where it was because
she has a lot of faith in you, you know?
I No, she really
She was
did.
just hoping you wouldn't let her down.
And the memory box fully did.
Yep. Speaking of crochet hooks, I'm so excited. I'm getting a Woobles kit, the full Lord of the Rings Woobles kit. But I also, when I was at Michael's, found this.
Oh my birthday!
That's adorable.
I was like, well, I've got to start. I don't think I'm going to try this one first. I think I'm going to try the, because I don't think it is beginner friendly. So I'm going to build whichever ones are beginner friendly from the Woobles kit that I bought first.
Good plan.
Yeah.
And then.
Because will that be your first amigurumi?
Yeah, that'll be my first amigurumi.
I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
I vibe with it.
Done. And if I'm gonna mess one up, I feel like I'd rather mess up like Gollum.
Fair. Very fair.
You know, because Gollum is probably not going to display with that. What?
He'd make peace with it if you told him, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. I tried to make you, but it came out wrong. I feel like deep down he'd be okay with it.
You were in choice. Nobody cares about him.
Poor Gollum.
No.
Hold on. I think it's Frodo, Gollum. Let's see. It's Frodo, Gollum, Gandalf, and the Balrog. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like, why? Those are so, like, I feel like the Balrog and Gollum are so. Gollum makes sense. I wouldn't have chosen Gollum. The Balrog feels so random.
Feels like they just wanted to have a pop of color in there.
Yeah.
The Balrog is black. Fully. Oh. Yeah.
You just wanted to have a little bit of darkness in there?
Yeah, I don't know. I personally would have done like Frodo, Gandalf, and then like maybe Gimli and Aragorn, or like Samwise. I would have done a Samwise and then like an Aragorn, something like that.
Gone with like all hobbits and Gandalf, like any of those.
Like no one wants Gollum themed anything. I do not want a Gollum themed crochet hook. Thank you very much. But I guess I'm buying one because I got the entire fucking kit.
That's gonna be fun.
So I'm very excited for when it comes in. I'm
excited to see your efforts.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not particularly like someone who really cares about amigurumi. That's just not my thing. Like I'm not someone who wants to make a lot of tiny little stuffed animals.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me it's like pops. Like I like specific pops. I don't collect pops in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like if it's something I'm already interested in, yeah, sure, I'll get a pop.
Right.
But if I don't have the yarn for the next row. It's in the other room.
Oh no. What are we gonna do?
I don't know, guys. What are we gonna do? Wait, fuck.
I don't know.
Can you sort it quickly?
It's literally just in the next room.
Oh, okay. This is not as much of a disaster as you were making it out to be.
Not a disaster. It's just unfortunate because I need it now.
I thought there was none to be had.
Yeah, no. I thought you were going to be like, no, screw you, Michaels.
I mean, I could make it to in a sprint if I needed to.
Yeah.
I do feel like I need to get some, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Again?
I need to get some Jesus.
Oh my God, like, this one specific section, I do not know why these knots keep coming undone, because this knot has been fine every other time I've done it, but these specific 3 places on this blanket, like, they just keep popping off.
That's annoying.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need to go get some like fabric tack or something to secure some of these knots, because I keep having, like, because of how many times I'm having to change colors for this. And it's all in the same spot. I may do that later today. Oh no, I will not do that later today because it is in the afternoon and my car has no AC.
Oof.
I'll do it in the morning.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, should we sign off?
We can. We can also do another one if you guys feel like another one, but we can also sign off if you want to sign off.
I am good with whatever. It's Julie's show. I'm good with whatever you want to do.
Julie, you make the decision. We can't decide.
All right. Well, I'm gonna vote we end things here only because I'm getting very sleepy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We've been here for 3.5 hours, chitty chatting and everything.
Yeah. But because we'll do this again.
We will.
Yeah. And speaking of, this came today, or well, it didn't come today, but I found it today. So thank you.
I haven't checked yet, but I'm assuming it's not here yet. Was it much more expensive this time?
No, because I still have some of the Forever stamps that I used the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So like it was 2 stamps the last time and they're Forever stamps. So even if the postage itself goes up, it should still be fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it was well over what I needed and it hasn't come back to me yet. I assume it would have come back to me pretty quickly if it wasn't enough postage. But
makes sense.
It's not like I won't have extras left over.
Yeah. All righty. Well, if you're still hanging out with us here, both Margaret and Aoife should be linked down below, so you can check them out. We'll be back next weekend for Margaret's.
Yes.
The
Fablin one shot.
Yes, thank you. I was like Fablin, but not official.
Shopping.
Yeah, we're going shopping. I have to go make all of the graphics for everything today.
That's exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited. It will be lots of fun. But we are going to sign off here. Thanks so much if you hung out with us today. And we'll see you next time. Bye.